Welcome back to The Narrative, where we cut through the noise and give you independent analysis corporate media won't touch. While CNN obsesses over whether Trump's tone is presidential and Fox runs victory laps, nobody's explaining the actual mechanics of what just happened with Iran. Trump didn't send troops. He didn't launch airstrikes. He deployed something far more dangerous to Tehran, a 25% tariff weapon aimed directly at China's oil addiction. Mainstream outlets are calling it tough rhetoric. Wrong. This is economic warfare designed to force Beijing, Delhi, and Ankara into an impossible choice. And at minute 4, I'll show you why Germany's chancellor just publicly bet the regime collapses in weeks. In the next 8 minutes, why this tariff isn't symbolic, the 3 countries that decide if Tehran survives, and the signal checklist that tells you which endgame is unfolding. January 13th, Trump posts, effective immediately, any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran will pay a tariff of 25% on any and all business being done with the United States of America. Corporate media treats this like a tweet. It's a forced choice mechanism. Here's the math that matters. China imports $22 billion in Iranian goods annually, mostly crude oil at steep discounts because Iran is desperate for cash. India, Turkey, Germany, South Korea, Japan also trade with Tehran. Machinery and tech going in, oil and petrochemicals coming out. Now picture this. You're India. You buy Iranian oil at $60 per barrel to save money. But now you face a 25% tariff penalty on your $150 billion in annual U.S. exports. That cheap oil just became catastrophically expensive. Same calculation hits China. Keep the $22 billion Iran relationship and risk tariffs on $500+ billion in U.S. trade. Or cut Iran loose and protect your export engine. This isn't a sanction. It's sanctions with hostages. Trump doesn't need Congress, UN approval, or coalition votes. He executes this unilaterally, and every country with U.S. trade exposure now picks a side. That's why this matters more than frozen bank accounts. It forces action, not paperwork. Now here's the part that should have been every headline, but got buried. A G7 leader just publicly called Iran's government dead. Not struggling, not concerned, dead. And when you understand who said it and why, you'll see the real pressure building. Stay with me. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz just became the first major Western leader to publicly predict the Iranian government's collapse. Not if reforms happen, not concern about stability. He said, if a regime can only maintain its power through violence, then it is effectively finished. I assume we are now seeing the last days and weeks of this regime. Why does Germany matter? Germany has deep trade ties with Iran, machinery exports, pharmaceutical deals, industrial partnerships worth billions. Merz isn't some neocon hawk. He's a center-right pragmatist with direct access to German intelligence, BND, and daily briefings on EU economic exposure. When a leader like that publicly writes off a regime, it sends a scorched earth signal to insurers, shipping companies, and banks. We're not protecting your Iran exposure anymore. Price in the collapse. That statement also tells you Western intelligence is seeing internal fractures they consider terminal. Protests lasting over 2 weeks under total internet blackout. Security forces stretched. Economic freefall under sanctions. Merz doesn't make predictions like this on a hunch. He's working off hard intel that says the government can't hold. Corporate media buried this quote in paragraph 8 of a Wire story. It's the headline. A G7 leader just called time of death on Iran's government. Iran shut down the internet January 8. Mobile data, broadband, Telegram, Instagram, gone across most cities. You're seeing leaked footage trickle out through satellite connections and smuggled SIM cards. But here's what corporate media won't admit. We can't verify casualty figures, detention numbers, or the scale of violence in real time. Blackouts serve 2 functions. First, they kill protest coordination. No live video, no real-time organizing, no viral clips showing tactics that spread to other cities. Second, they delay outside scrutiny. Hospitals can't report. Morgues can't communicate. Families can't confirm who's detained or dead. By the time verifiable evidence surfaces, it's days or weeks old, and the regime controls the narrative window. So, when you see activist groups citing one set of numbers and the Iranian government admitting to a fraction of that, understand, both are unverified until independent investigators can cross-check medical records, detention logs, and morgue inventories. We don't do speculative body counts here. We wait for evidence. That's the difference between independent analysis and propaganda. What is confirmed? Protests ongoing. Internet dark. Regime deploying force. Everything else is claims waiting for verification. 3 ways this ends. Watch for signals on each. Scenario 1. Economic pressure fractures the regime. China and India reduce Iranian oil purchases to dodge U.S. tariff penalties. Tehran's revenue collapses. Security forces don't get paid. Food and fuel subsidies dry up. Protests intensify. Defections snowball. The government falls without a single U.S. airstrike. Trump gets the regime change win. 0 American casualties. Cleanest scenario. Scenario 2. Trump escalates to direct action. If economic pressure moves too slowly, Trump has options already teed up. Cyber attacks on Revolutionary Guard communications, limited airstrikes on IRGC command facilities, covert support for opposition organizing. The help is on its way language keeps this door open. Nothing announced yet, but watch for leaks about airspace violations or unexplained communication blackouts inside Iran. That's your signal escalation started. Scenario 3. Stalemate. Regime survives through brutality. Security forces stay loyal. China ignores the tariffs or negotiates carve-outs. Protests can't sustain momentum under blackout conditions. The regime grinds this out with violence, arrests, and executions. Ongoing chaos, economic collapse, but no resolution. This is the ugliest timeline. Months of bloodshed with no clean endgame. 3 data points tell you which scenario is winning. 1. China's February oil import data. If purchases from Iran drop significantly, the tariff is working. Beijing blinked. If they stay flat or rise, China called Trump's bluff and is willing to eat the penalty to keep cheap energy flowing. 2. Blackout duration. If internet access returns within days, the regime feels it restored control. If it stays dark for weeks, they're hiding something they can't afford the world to see. 3. Trump's next move. Watch for cyber operation announcements, confirmed airspace violations, or another tariff escalation.